everyone! Today I'm going to share with you some of the lessons I learned while doing some recent pour paints. I'm new to the medium and I was trying out some new techniques for the first time, and so I figured if I created this video it might be really helpful to you as a new painter. There are a ton of amazing YouTube videos out there. I've watched a bunch of them. That's actually how I learned how to do pour paints in the first place. But as a beginner, I noticed that some of the videos overlook some of the really simple things that first time pours with certain techniques don't really know, and so I did a lot of different techniques and I can share some of the tips and lessons that I learned. So come watch this and we're going to review things like the feather pour, the trouble pouring on black base, which still turns out pretty cool, but it's a struggle sometimes. I have dirty pour and we have a Dutch pour. So put together this video. Hopefully by watching this can help you through your journey of pour painting and maybe save you some troubles or questions during the process by learning from the things that I've done. So hopefully this helps you out, and let's get started. Okay guys, so we're going to jump right in. So this is the kiss feather, and I got a little ahead of myself, and I haven't even done a pour feather yet at this point because I'm the type of person that likes to jump right in. And so I did the kiss feather instead of just trying a normal feather because I wanted to see how it went, and it did turn out pretty cool. Also, side note, these videos are done mostly in double speed or 4 times speed, just because we would be here all day, and I want you to really kind of see the process. So I poured, I think I had 4 or 5 colors in there. And now I'm picking up the knife. The knives are some of my favorite tools, so I'm going to take it through the center to just create that feather effect of the center, and I pull down. So it's nice because it drags the colors through, and then I'm going to tilt. Now, this is probably the big key lesson we learn in this. So I love tilting. I love the effects that you get, but I am also an over tilter. I think I do it too much. So right here, I'm tilting up, and direction matters, especially when you're trying to make a feather. So by tilting it towards the top of the feather, I kind of lose the natural drift that you get. So I also, another tool is just an ordinary straw. It gets you nice little, when you blow, it gets you the nice little wispies. So here I'm kind of blowing up through to get more of that feathering effect at the ends. Also, I think I was a little heavy on the purple. I used way too much paint. I didn't need all that. I didn't even use it all in the cup, but that's fine. I'm learning, going along this process just like a lot of you are, I'm sure. So I want to get some more wispies, so I'm going to get another one of my knives and kind of do some pulling effects. I have the knife tilted on its side, which is nice for the thinner lines, but I'm going to start to tilt and flatten the knife out, and that'll get a little bit, see right there, you got a nice thicker portion, so it pulled some of that white and it creates a little more separation. So we just keep doing that and get more, and then here I wanted to scoop some of the white back over because I think I overdid it, which if you watch some of my other videos you'll see that's a common theme. Now I'm going to tilt some more. I haven't learned my lesson and I'm still tilting up, which is not great for the wispies, but here we go. Tilt matters, and if I tilt down, everything flows in the right direction and you get a better feathered effect. So here's a picture of once it dried. It turned out really cool. The colors are awesome. I can't wait to do more of these using the lessons I've learned. So moving on to the next painting, this is a center swipe. I am slowly realizing I think swiping is one of my favorite techniques. It really, I'm just drawn to it. I love the cell creation, and there's so many different ways to go about it. So the center swipe, I'm going to layer my colors. I have a base layer of white on there. Side note, if you see me bouncing around, that's because I have to listen to music while I paint, and I tend to dance. And so when I speed the video up, I look pretty silly, but it just is what it is. So now I think my black was too thick there, so I'm adding a little bit of water. Don't overdo it with your water, just a little bit at a time. Overall, I think my paints are still a little too thick. I'm really trying to work on getting an appropriate consistency. So I've got magenta, another pink, I did black, and I have gold. And I'm going to try out a different tool. Normally for swiping, I really like the knives, and that's what I've used in the past, and I think they look cool. But one of my other favorite tools is the silicone wedge, and so I haven't used that for swiping, so I'm going to try out because it gets a little more surface area, so I want to see how that looks. So I start in the center and pull, and what I noticed right off the bat is I pulled way too much. The wedge was a little tricky to get the feel for just sliding a little bit, so I kind of pulled too much, but that's fine. We're going to let it go, and I switched to the knife, and it's much smoother. I can control it a lot better, and it just gives a much more even effect. So I continue through that, and I just loop back around. Some of the swipes I do, I like to leave some space between, but here I'm kind of trying to touch it together and make more of a uniform swiping effect. I think next time I do this, I'm going to try it with either a paper, or actually I think I've seen some videos where they use maybe saran wrap, so I'm a go-getter painter. I'm just going to jump right in and try after I watch a couple videos. So I'll be sure to video that the next swipe I do and kind of give you the feedback of how it turns out. So I've got my last few swipes, and you can see the cells are already amazing. They're popping up everywhere. I have some silicone drops in my paint, which is what I have been using, and I mean the cells are just bursting out. It's awesome. And of course, because I can't not touch my paintings, I have to tilt. It's cool. It gives it like a wavy effect. Again, I'm still in the experimenting stage with finding what I really like about the paintings, finding what works, and I think that's the fun part of it, really. So here's some close-up shots of how it turned out, and I couldn't be happier. I think the colors are really cool. It's awesome blending, and then even the parts where I used the wedge, I think turned out pretty cool. So there's no mistakes in art. And on to the third piece in this video. Here I was trying out what it would look like on black base instead of white, and I realized I have way too much black. Not only did I have too much black on there originally, but then I poured it around my paint. So I'm gonna learn this lesson real quick. What happens when you have too much black? And I think another issue was the black might have been too thick a little bit. I'm still, again, working on my thickness of these colors. And so I like to blow it over. This is my blow dryer method, where I just take it and blow it on over. And I also need to get an attachment, which would be super helpful. Oops, I just touched my paint there. But I need one of those attachments for blowouts where it funnels it. So it's looking so cool right here. I'm loving it. I'm thinking, this is the best thing ever. And if you notice, you can see the black creeping in. It is just going to overtake all of my colors. And I do not know what to do in that moment, because I am not understanding what is happening. It's upon reflection, when I watch the video, especially at a time lapse, you can just watch that black creep in and swallow up everything else. But in the moment, I'm thinking, okay, this will be fine. Look, I'm getting cells, we're using the straw, we're getting some cool wispies, everything's great. And it's just, you can see you're losing the color, the black is overtaking it. What I realized after doing this and watching some videos and really trying to do some research to figure out what went wrong here, we're speeding this up so you can just see even in the faster time lapse. And I'm tilting to try to get some of that black off. But what I'm actually doing is, yes, I'm getting some of the black off, but I'm also, whatever side I'm tilting, the black is overtaking over the color, it's tilting down. So anyway, what I realized is oh, you just saw that scoop back in. If I wanted to save it and have more of a color mass, I should have just taken one of those knives and completely scraped some of that black off. That's the problem. The black was just overtaking. So, and that's fine. We learn the lesson and we move on. All in all, you'll see a picture in a few minutes. Oh, here we are adding some more color, not realizing that the problem is not the amount of color, but too much black. Anyway, you'll see a picture of this when it's all done. It turned out really cool, and I actually still love it. And it's just another lesson learned, which is great. So this painting is wrapping up, and I have a couple more of these that I'm going to do. So I will add the link on to the end of this video if you want to check those out as well. But if you enjoy this video, I would love for you to like and subscribe to it and tell me what you think in the comments, and I can make some other pieces and comment on them. If you have any questions or suggestions, I would love to hear some feedback. So I really hope you enjoyed this, and thank you so much for watching.